Hey everyone. Well, today I wanted to show you guys this brand new 2012 Ford Fusion Sport. I actually had a couple of requests for this car, and we happen to have a blue flame, a gorgeous blue flame metallic on the lot. This one is a brand new one, like I said. You can tell it's a sport model from the dark finished grille. The regular Fusions have a black or a chrome rebar grille. Now this is the last year of the the current generation Fusion. It came out in 2010. The Sport model is pretty much one of the highest trim levels you can buy. The SEL and the Sport are pretty much the top ones. What's different about the Sport is you get those 5-spoke 18-inch wheels as standard equipment. You do get a different V6 engine. This one has the 3.5-liter V6 with 263 horsepower. The other Fusions have the 3-liter V6 with 240 horsepower. The Sport also gets some different exhaust tips, a little bit bigger, a little bit more pronounced. You get the rear spoiler, you get the Sport badging on it. This is a pretty sharp car. The Fusion, excuse me, was redesigned in 2010, but Ford's kept it pretty fresh looking. You also do get the slightly lower underbody spoilers. You get the side spoiler on the rocker panels. This color is a very nice color. I do like it on the Sport, this blue flame metallic. And the darker finished grille looks better to me versus the chrome finished grille. But there are really good deals to be had on Fusions right now. There's like a $2,000 incentive for this vehicle. Really good financing terms available. My parents were actually considering a Fusion before they bought their TSX. But my dad actually did not like the 4-cylinder in it. He test drove the V6, which we loved. The V6 was great, but the gas mileage unfortunately wasn't the best. Ford's got some work to do with this previous generation Fusion. It's still a great car, but it's definitely fallen a little bit mid-packed and behind. This one has a sticker of 29,680. It's missing navigation. It does have the 401A, which includes, this is basically the Sony sound system and the moonroof. You can go up to the 402A, which is the driver vision package, which gives you blind spot information and a backup camera. With the 3.5-liter V6, 1827 is your MPG, which is a little bit behind. If you get all-wheel drive, which the Fusion is the only one available with all-wheel drive, it does drop it even more to 1726, so that's something to consider. Anyways, let's show you guys the interior. I've pretty much been letting it run to let the engine warm up. The seats are pretty comfortable. The Sport does give you the contrasting stitching with the perforated leather. You can actually make the leather inserts the same color, either blue or red, I believe. It's a pretty nice day out here today, too. Now, in terms of materials, this is a little bit of old Ford, but it's not as bad as, let's say, the old Escape is probably my least favorite of the Fords, but you do get a nice soft touch padded dashboard. The graining definitely is not as nice as that TSX, or I guess it's just my taste. I like the graining in the Hondas more versus this graining, but it's a soft touch dashboard material. It's soft touch up here as well. It's even soft touch down here. Glove box is not soft touch, but it does get soft all the way here. The door panels, this is soft touch plastic right here, of course, which is nice because your arms are going to go here. You have your nice leather here, and then soft touch here. You do get automatic up and down passenger and driver window. The rear is not. You get this pretty thick steering wheel with contrasting stitching. You get the side bolstering extensions. You get your audio controls and cruise control switches. Now you do get the 6-speed. This vehicle does come equipped with a 6-speed automatic with sport shift mode. No paddle shifters in this car. And the armrest here does not slide, but it does have 2 levels. And your USB and your aux imports in there. I do like this nicer trim here. Some of the Fusions I do prefer the Fusions with the light camel color with the wood. I guess that's just my taste. I like how it has an auto dimming rearview mirror, but this one does not have a backup camera, but it does have backup sensors. But I guess I'll show you guys a quick startup since the engine is warm. It'll be really nice when the new Fusion comes in because, while this one is a really nice car, the new one's going to be even better. It's a pretty smooth engine. It's basically the same engine out of all the other Ford products, but it's the same engine in the MKZ. Makes a really nice sound. But you got a rev limiter about 3,500 RPM. steering wheel is really nice and direct, and it's actually, I believe it's a mechanical, but let's look under the hood and I can double check. Pop the trunk, there's the trunk popper over there. Now while the engine is pretty smooth, and it makes a nice sound, I do have one gripe with it. I mean, you go open the hood, it's not a very pretty engine to look at, just because I guess I'm kind of snooty about the way engines look. I prefer the way Honda's engines look, or even, I don't like the way Toyota's engines look. I guess the Germans make a pretty good looking engine. And there's no props. I mean, there's no struts. It's got a hood prop. You would think that 6-cylinder model would have that. And I just think that there should be an engine cover on this. It's not a very pretty engine to look at, but it's a smooth engine. It uses regular gas. Springtime, my allergies is going berserk. The back seat is much better than the TSX, but in terms of an Accord or a Camry, it's a little bit smaller. But it has pretty good space still. I mean, it's not terrible. You do have an armrest over here in the back, which does have cup holders here, except it's a little bit too low. And then it's kind of like this plastic piece here is a little bit too far out, because you kind of put your arms over here. You don't want to be resting it on the hard plastic piece. But I mean, this is where I would have it to drive, and there's a lot more legroom than the TSX here. The headroom is a little bit on the small side, but you do have the materials that follow through into the back seat as well. One thing about Fords is I wish they would stop doing is they wish they wouldn't make it so obvious that you can easily open this. I mean, you do have the capless fuel system, but with the way they designed it like this, anyone can just come here and open your gas tap. I prefer a system where my Fit, you have to push in, and then it pops out. Same with the TSX. It just makes it a little bit more security. I like how this one does not have any hinges. It's got struts. Somebody has flipped that flap open and didn't close it. But you do got a temporary spare in here. Trunk space is pretty good. It's pretty good in this car. Anyways, I don't have a tag on this car, so we're not going to go on a test drive, but I'll just go and put it back in the lot. Now, when you go into manual mode, it does engage a sport mode, and it'll show you your gear, which gear you're in. Oh, sorry, it's yelling at me to put my seatbelt on, even though I'm in the parking lot. Okay. It handles really nice. The Fusion has really good handling. I mean, it's a very sporty to drive vehicle. You know, the way it drives, it kind of reminds me of the 7th gen Honda Accords. You can see we have a ton of edges on the lot. And we just got some more Explorers on the lot, but we just have a ton of edges, and we got some 12 Escapes. And we have a lot of Focuses too. I mean, if you guys are in the market for a mid-sized family sedan, I definitely would recommend taking a look at the Fusion, because I think you guys would be pleasantly surprised, especially if you think the Accord is too big. I mean, there's the new Fusion that's coming out, but the old one still drives great, especially with the V6. It's very powerful, and I'll demonstrate the backup sensors, because the Park 8 is on and it'll start beeping at me. That's a Ford thing. And as you get closer, it starts beeping louder, 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 louder. I mean, I really like that feature. I kind of wish the TSX had it, but anyways, guys, if you're in the market for this car, definitely take a look at one. There's good deals to be had. Thanks for watching.